Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? And I'm here with my special guest, Taladia Plays. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to this exciting Dragon Ball Daima episode 14 and 15 reaction and review. So, without further ado, let's do this. You ready?
Ready. Three.
Three, two, one. And by the way, guys, just to let you guys know, we are reacting to this live, so you get a genuine reaction to the dub. It is the dub edition. Let me just. All right, here we go. Got past the intro. Roger that. Oh no. Why do I get the feeling these guys are like the rip-off versions of the Ginyu Force?
Wait for it.
Oh no. Oh no. Why, Toriyama? Why would you do that? No.
Pause it. Pause it for a second.
All right.
The tokusatsu gag aside, I feel like the Ginyu Force at least had more.
Flair.
Sorry about that technical difficulties. But the gag aside and Super Sentai and all that, Ginyu Force felt more genuine than this. I feel like with the Janjamri Force, they were going for the gag more than substance. At least with the Ginyu Force, they at least had a veil of a threat to them.
Yes.
I just feel like with this roster, you're just going for the writers were just going for flair more than substance.
Wow. I can't believe that.
And don't get it wrong, I wouldn't even count the Ginyu Force as a good Sentai parody. No, they are comedic as well.
No. Let's carry on because you know what? I need to get this image out of my head right now. I need to carry on from this because I don't want to see this.
Raccoon had more grace than this.
No, but I don't want to see the image of the demon realm have a ripoff of the Ginyu Force. Why? Ooh, magic. Where are they going? Well, I'm sure they're going to the first demon round, but I'm like, why are they going down and not upwards? Any idea, Jahi?
I agree. Why not either have one for each hand or have both fade at the same time? But that's I feel
See,
like that has hello.
Yeah, Goma's digging his boogies.
Oh,
Dig-
I see
Clean
where
your hands. Clean your hands, Goma. Disgusting. Disgusting. He was doing this. What? He's trying to flick the boogies? What were you gonna say, Jay?
said I agree.
Okay. Whoa. Majin Do. You love this show, Tevia says. Welcome, Tevia. They did the thing. Tevia, DM me what they did without putting it in the chat. Majin Du is so funny. You love him. He's so fun. Yeah, he is fun. No, I'm watching it, Tevia. I am watching it. Hmm. Okay. That is possible. Yeah, Easter's going great. Easter's going great, Tavia. Oh, all right. So that's episode 14 done. Now straight over to 15. Ready? Jahi?
Hey, I'm here. I had another minute left in the episode, but yeah,
All right, let's do this.
three, two,
2, 1.
one.
All right, skip intro. Tavia, we are ready, dude. I'm always ready. Uh, revive bug. Hmm. Figure it out. Use your brain. Okay, so this is how we got Deborah. Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting backstory of the third demon eye. Did you think Jay?
I agree. Though that's the thing about this flashback. This is even before Jabor gets taken over by Bobbity. So this is a good 3, if not 400 years.
Yeah. Tevye is
Only,
saying the third demon eye.
yeah, it's funny.
It's funny.
You
Yeah,
have
it
this
is.
conduit of mystical power. You even team up with a bug beat thief side with a bug thief. Gets flung all the way to the third, only to get squashed by a giant. Squashed like a giant because it wasn't paying attention.
He loves Toriyama writing. It's so funny.
Toriyama was always a gag manga, which is kind of ironic. His success was in gag or comedic stories. Dragon Ball was kind of an overarching experiment.
You notice something, Jay? The guy didn't notice the Dragon Ball in the bag. I thought he would have gone for the Dragon Ball instead of the eye.
I thought so too.
Isn't that's gotta be Pansy's dad? This is what you call teamwork. Now this is what you call awesomeness. Hey, what's up, Nick? We're just wrapping up episode 15 of Dragon Ball Daima on the dub edition. Our reaction and review, little review of it. So pretty much we're about 5 episodes left of you did watch these episodes? Yeah, so we're covering the dub because I'm a dub guy and a sub guy, so I'm kind of I wanted to see like how we can do with the dub. Oh, okay, interesting. So we got episode 16, 17. What we'll do, guys, is you watch those two. You watch the dub. Yeah. Jahi, you there? I don't think he's here, guys.
Oh, I'm here. I still watch a little bit. What's up, Nick? How's everybody doing tonight? But yeah, there are 5 episodes left. We'll go ahead and call it here because Taladi, excuse me, is probably further ahead than I am. So we'll go ahead and call it. But yeah, interesting 2-parter. Definitely with the budgeting, the animation spike.
Nick wants to join us.
Oh, sure, Nick. If you, Taladi, do you mind just for a few minutes as we're wrapping up?
Sure. Get him on. I would
Right.
like to hear his thoughts. I would like to hear his thoughts on the latest 2 episodes of the dub.
All right, Nick Lenz, I'm sending you the link right now.
Well, Jahi is doing that. I gotta say, personally, I'm excited. I am excited for what's it called? I'm excited for the 5 episodes that we got left.
All right, now we're just waiting on our new
Nick.
guest. Yep, we're just waiting on Nick. Though, fair warning, at least from my memory from the dub, 17 is dragged out. So let that be known when we do cover that episode. I want the audience to go ahead and know 17 is a bit of a slog because it's just the fight in and of itself. The real highlights are episodes 18 through 20, the last 3. 17 is a slog.
So
17.
in 2 weeks' time, guys, just to let you guys know, in 2 to 3 weeks' time, we'll cover like 3 episodes, then 2 to 3 episodes. We'll come up with a plan because if you're saying if it's a slog, then we might as well wait until 3 weeks' time then.
Definitely. But the reason I say that is because at least in terms of episode 17 carrying by itself. Now,
Right.
in terms of the overall what's essentially going to be the final battle in all of this,
The final arc.
the final arc, basically. I'm not going to say it's outright filler. It just doesn't contribute anything as its own episode. I guess filler would be the appropriate term, if I'm being honest. But hold on.
But by the way, I gotta say, guys, like these 2 episodes have been great, back to back. It wasn't it did feel a filler, but it was a fun filler episode.
Yeah.
A fun filler episode. Definitely really enjoyed it. Definitely got some action here and there, and I gotta say that I was very much intrigued to find out the eye on the belt. I was very much intrigued by that, the backstory on that. So that was interesting of the backstory. But guys, honestly, if I had to rate both episodes in total, I'll give it a solid 7 or an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it about an 8 out. Definitely episodes 15 more than 14.
Yeah. Definitely 15 over 14. But I'm still excited for 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's a lot of things I got planned out. So Jahi, like obviously I gotta ask you your favorite moment of the episodes.
Favorite moment, definitely. If I had to pick within these 2 specifically, my favorite moment would have to be the siege leading up to Goma's castle. It's just pure action throughout. That cannot be denied. That is a highlight of this 2-parter we've covered tonight. That was definitely a highlight.
Yeah. Nick, if you're joining us, let us know if you're still here.
Because I did send you the link, Nick. Just if you're available, just please let us know.
Yeah, if you let us know, because if not, then we can wrap up and tie this up in a nice bow. And me and Jay here got planned things behind the scenes in regards to collabs and all these other things that me and Jay here got coming up, especially considering we're going to be bringing back Blazing Shonen.
Definitely, and what a time to bring it back. Now, this is no pre-rendered questions this time. This is just pre-requested. Just anything you want to ask in the chat. It could be Dragon Ball later. It could be anime news. Just anything you want to talk. We could spend at least a few minutes on that while waiting for Nick.
Yeah.
Getting confirmation he's still on here. But
you got any questions? Your hard hitting questions? Feel free to put them in the chat.
Hold on, Nick could be having some technical issues.
I'm here.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Nothing.
No green screen this time, but
Yeah, I probably had to log in for that, but let's see if I can do this here. Oh, I had to log in in order to get my green screen. Hang on.
Take your time. While he's logging back in, any questions or concerns you want to address? Okay, the Tomorrowverse discussion. I'll have to look over my schedule, Tevia, but I will DM you an exact date. It'll definitely be this week because Tomorrowverse is pretty straightforward. We could just knock that out. Just knock it out. But definitely we have DC July solicitations. Those are really recently released. We need to plan for that.
Yeah.
And we are returning Blazing Shonen, but
bigger than before.
Huh?
Bigger than before.
Bigger than before. But definitely, you know what? Might as well. We'll go ahead. If Taladia's schedule aligns, we'll react to or at least review My Adventures of Superman and Lois Season 3. I personally feel like it's going to be a rushed mess, but hey, as long as I got a good co-host by my side, we should have a good time.
Hey, I'll react to it separately because I'll do a reaction video because I need to get reaction videos.
Of course. You do what you got to do, huh?
But I'll definitely do them with you because,
Yeah, because the last time hey, Nick. The last time I did a reaction for Velma, it was a subscriber milestone. Don't judge me. I ended up getting copyright strikes. So, no, if I'm going to do reaction,
leave it to me and Jay will figure something out for you guys for sure.
Yeah.
But yes, Nick, how do you feel about Daima so far? Leading up to
That's been really cool. I originally was not into this one at first, but I have been enjoying the show so far. One thing that's a really nice thing about this show is the return of the original Funimation English dub actors for Kid Goku. I thought that was
Stephanie something. I forget her last name.
Yes. And here's a little fun fact. Prior to the show, she had not done a new recording in 22 years, release-wise. Last time was back in 2003. I think it was for GT Legacy. That movie that came after the show wrapped up.
Yeah, for when she played Goku Jr.
So,
but yeah, I thought that released like in 98, 99. Or was that the sub or was that the original Japanese sub?
The sub.
Okay.
The sub.
Yes.
But Nick, I gotta ask you, right? This is something I really want to ask you. Is considering we've covered up to episode 15, do you think the dub has done well?
Yes.
In terms of kind of getting fans on board with this new version of like a Kid Goku, and also this new iteration of Kid Vegeta type of thing.
Yes. At least you'll have Goku wearing that blue gi he had during GT.
Yeah.
And the end of Z. Now, the end of Z gi itself isn't as bad. And the only difference between the end of Z gi and the GT gi, the actual, what Goku wears, is a darker shade. Is that the GT gi is a darker shade. That is literally the only difference.
It's just that the orange gi with the blue shirt in the middle, undershirt, that's more iconic than the gi he had at the end of the series. It's like when people visualize Goku, people think of the orange outfit, turtle symbol on the back, usually whatever symbol basically has. Either it's the symbol he got Whis draw on him during Super, or the look he had during Z. It is an orange outfit is always iconic for him. And I'm glad Daima kept that. But one thing you notice though, when he turned into a kid, no tail.
Yeah, even if you I did hear rumors that in interviews, the producer of Daima did want to make it feel nostalgic to GT, almost as if it was a remake. Now, GT was a downgrade to Z. Objectively speaking, it was a downgrade, especially if you went by the English dub. I cannot refute that.
Yeah, especially that first arc was.
Yeah, the
not
Black
good.
Star Dragon. No. There was
The
a
whole-
reason.
The concept of Black Dragon Balls is really cool. Just the execution was not that good. And I'm not blaming the voice actors. They're not at fault for this.
No.
Or if I'm going to put the blame on this, I'm going to put the blame on Toei for that. Because they're the ones who made the show. It's their fault. With GT. And the fact the ending was rushed.
Now, that was due to the cancellation, the ending. Now, but there were problems even prior to that.
Or the fact that Super Android 17 was really short. That should have been a little longer than it was.
Yeah, it was 6 episodes. It was. I'm not going to say it was a filler arc per se, because GT is anime original for the most part. It never got a manga companion piece.
Here's the weird thing about the arc. That is the only time in any of the shows we actually saw Cooler in a cameo. But Cooler did appear in the show. Cooler is kind of a canon character, but the weird thing is Super never referenced him. They referenced Frieza's father, but his awesome brother. I never got. It's one villain from the movies that I can definitely see his stories fit into canon. It doesn't contradict anything.
No, you would have now. Broly, you were going to have to redux from the ground up. I mean that's unrefutable. But Cooler is one of those few you could get away with very little changes. Cooler, BoJack Unbound, the mech from World's Strongest, though you would have to have Gohan meet everyone prior to Raditz's arrival. That's the only real thing you would change. And kind of Garlic Jr. solely because
that was supposed to for the show, but yet Goku was reunited with his friends, even though that when the show started, he did not see him in 5 years.
Yeah, that's the major contradiction with World's Strongest. Even with Dead Zone to a degree, at least.
Dead Zone was one step before because World's Strongest was set during the show.
Okay.
Yeah, World's Strongest, everyone remembers the famous Pump a Dragon theme song, which everybody loves that one. Any visuals you get from that? Is that from the show? No, that's all from World's Strongest. Which, it's weird. Like, of all things, why pick World's Strongest images from that movie to be the visuals for that one? Though I did have one visual from the show, which was Nappa smashing through basically a fighter jet. That was awesome seeing because he actually did in the show, but not like over the top like he did in the opening titles.
Wait, wasn't that a filler scene the movie reused as stock footage?
I think so, but Nappa, all he was basically a muscle brute. There was nothing really special about him aside from the fact that he killed. Yeah, he had the Cybermen, not the one from Doctor Who, different guys. Which they reference him, and they actually reference these guys in Daima. I was surprised when I saw that. Were you surprised they referenced the Cybermen?
It's a deep cut and it's a blink and you miss it, but yeah, it's there.
Or the fact that the show has tons of references to Majin Buu.
So, because we got about a few minutes left because
because of the time zone difference, of course.
Time zone difference, yeah. And I don't know, Nick, if you don't know, Raw's starting in about 8 minutes. Monday Night Raw.
Yes. Speaking of that, what did you guys think of Rhea Ripley cosplaying as the Batman who lapsed during WrestleMania?
Yeah, yeah. I was watching that live reaction, and honestly, I was enjoying it. And by the way, I got to show you this.
Nice.
I went to London for Monday Night Raw.
Cool.
I was there the night John Cena got Crossroads.
Yeah, one of 2 times he got it before because I think it was by far the biggest name to receive the Crossroads because The Rock had never gotten it. You notice that?
Nope.
No.
And I saw a visual. It was like, let's bring in Travis Scott to beat John Cena's muscle. I mean, a freaking rapper like Travis Scott. Now, prior to recently, the only time I ever heard the name Travis Scott was when McDonald's had a Travis Scott meal. The first time I ever heard of the guy. Ever. Like, he's a rapper. Okay. I've never listened to the guy's music. I'm sure he's good, but I just never heard his music. And I had no idea what the guy looked like. I only know he was a rapper. I didn't know what his skin color was. Nothing. And then I saw him come up with Jey Uso. And for Netflix. The first time I ever saw him. And then we see him again in Elimination Chamber, where he's working with John Cena and The Rock to beat up Cody Rhodes because he dared turn down The Rock's offer for his soul. And what was the point of that?
Yeah. By the way, Tavia, this was the current WrestleMania where John Cena won the title.
This
year.
17th. And I saw what he did with the belt afterwards. And so, like, here's a weird thing. I've seen him put on that belt before, but not the way he did it last night. He just put it on backwards.
Yeah.
Now,
you know what he was symbolizing? The bald patch.
Yep.
The bald patch. It was symbolizing that because people knew his mouth for the bald patch. So he had a hair transplant. He said that on the Pat McAfee show. So he was talking about that today, and I was like thinking, okay, maybe that was, maybe.
Yeah, that was the bit.
Fun fact: I've seen two other wrestlers ever do that with the World Championship. Those other two were Nick Nemeth with the World Heavyweight Championship. He would come out to the ring with the belt backwards.
Yeah.
And I've seen pictures of this. You may have heard of him, Talati. He's from the UK. Nigel McGuinness.
Yes.
He was the ROH World Champion. He did that too. Because you look at pictures of when he was ROH World Champion, the belt was always backwards. Yeah. I never really understood why. Now, for Cena, there was a reason. There are two guys, they probably felt look cool.
Man,
hey, world champions. I've never seen anyone ever wear the belt backwards.
No, but Nick, let me tell you this, right? When it comes down to because the Raw after Mania is going to be huge. I'm not guaranteeing this, but I have a funny feeling The Rock is going to come out and he's going to say to Cena, let's have a match. Cena drops the belt to him again, drops the belt at Backlash, but then wins it because The Rock wants that title, right? So, you know how Hulk Hogan did at WCW? Does that thing?
I remember.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
I wasn't watching the time, but I heard about the finger poke of doom.
Yeah, the finger poke of doom.
Over. 1, 2, 3, done.
Yeah.
And what was that?
Just think about that, but it's Cena and Rock.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Now, some people were theorizing that two people were going after Cena for that title. Seth Rollins and Randy Orton.
I can see Randy Orton. I can see Randy Orton, but I don't see
that person I can see potentially because he wasn't pinned to that triple threat match. CM Punk. Reigns, no. I think he's done with that championship. I think he's done.
Yeah, he's likely done.
He'll still show up to wrestle, but I don't think he'll compete with the World Championship again because he had his run. 4 freaking years wearing that damn belt. First, it was the Blue Universal belt, then merged with the main WWE Championship, and then 2 belts for a while, and then it was 1 belt that was actually 3 belts, and then it became 1 belt. What happened to Blue Universal belt? No one knows. And it's implied that the Universal Championship has been retired, but WWE's never said it's been retired. It was active all this time. And
I'm calling it now the spinner belt returning. In a weird
I remember
way.
when that first showed up, it was wrapped WrestleMania 21. Here's Cena basically playing mind games with JBL, making, this magic box has got the new championship belt. And look, here he has the Undisputed Championship belt, which people love that belt. When I first started watching, that was the belt basically, and then was the spinner belt for the longest time. And here's a fun fact. Guess which wrestler was the first person to hold the version of the championship belt people were seeing up until very recently with the black inside the W?
Edge.
The Rock.
The Rock, okay.
The version we have now, yes, it's changed color. It's gold now. But this version of the belt has been in existence since 2013. 12 years, that belt. And I've heard the reason why WWE refused to change it because merchandise. People love replica belts. Even though people want one of the air belts back.
Sorry, I just wanted to briefly announce this right quick. We did see news and an article that this is getting officially announced as an anime.
Yeah, it's in production, which about freaking time. It's been how long has the last episode aired? It's been almost 4 years.
You
3.5 years.
You guys got to do reactions like how we're doing with Daima. You both got to do reactions to this.
Yes.
Definitely. But I will say this will be a separate video from Boruto Chubu Vortex Chapter 21. That will be this anime prediction will be a separate video, because if we talk about both topics, the stream for the chapter review will be at least 2 hours long.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least. So I just wanted to go ahead and confirm now.
Which I did read the newest chapter. Not going to much spoil it, but I did really enjoy the newest chapter. Did you read it, Heat?
Yes, I have. I just read it today. Today. Yeah, it released yesterday, depending on where your time zone is, but I first had a chance to read it yesterday. Yeah,
it's the same length as all the other chapters, like 45 pages. Yes, I've been seeing that. My Hero Vigilantes, really good. Like the first familiar hero you see in the first episode is Eraserhead. Well, actually, first it was All Might, then Eraserhead.
Yep. Which I'm surprised I'm sorry, this is the last thing I'll mention before we wrap up, Talati, because I know you're exhausted. But I'm surprised My Hero Academia even got an anime adaptation.
I'm glad it did, because once the final season wraps up, like you're thinking, like, what else is there in anime? Oh, what about Vigilantes? Which, if you think about it, this series has been somewhat referenced in My Hero
a couple of times.
Yes.
A couple of times in the background.
But the weird thing is, the stars of the series never appeared in the main series.
Nope.
I never knew why. Like, not even for cameo.
I mean, they had 2 other spin-offs other than this one. I think there
was Team and Smash.
Okay.
I do know that the characters from the last 2 movies that were released, You're Next, two of the hero characters in that movie, they do make cameo in the manga, and they debut in the show, which was a prelude to Your Next, which I did see Your Next. Excellent movie. I say it's probably better than the third one. At least the villain had great motivation. Last one's like, oh, he has a quirk, and he thinks it's bad to have a quirk. Okay, visually movie looked amazing, but I was not. I thought of the 4 movies, the third movie was the weakest.
Yeah, but that's a topic for a different stream.
Anyway,
any final thoughts, gentlemen? Taladia, you go first.
No, all I gotta say is I'm excited for the next 2 episodes that we're gonna cover. I'm excited for finishing up Dragon Ball Daima, then bringing back Blazing Shonen, and I'm also excited to do the final episode. By the way, guys, I'm going to mention this now. The final episode of Dragon Ball Daima will be a special guest coming on the show. That is for sure, and I'm going to set that up for Jay Heat and myself to have on the show. He's called Lance. He's pretty much does what does he do? He does the Party Nation. So make sure you guys do check him out. I'll link it up and all that.
Also, one thing we should also mention here, please give your prayers to Mike McFarlane, the voice Master Roshi, who is going through a very tough time now. I heard recently there's a new GoFundMe for a second brain surgery for him.
Yeah.
Which I love the guy's work as a voice actor. I know he's a fantastic director. He directed One Piece for the longest time. He directed the recent season of My Hero, not season 6. He directed season 7. Of course, he's not doing season 8 because he's in the hospital. But I hope the guy gets better. And I hope by the time we air the last episode and we see Roshi come back, I hope we hear Mike Rowan's voice come out of Roshi's mouth when he's an old man again. Because it can't match Roshi without Mike McFarlane. The young version of the guy is amazing.
All right. So with that being said, though, we're out, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Like, comment, subscribe. Flame off.